No game due to the rain, but still a fun Friday episode. Let's roll.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. Thank you for being part of the show and making Locked On Cubs your first listen today. And the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day, like the video, and comment anything below. Today's episode is presented by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code LockedOnMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Cubs Marlins were postponed on Thursday due to rain. It was not raining at game time, but about 7:30, 7:45-ish, it did start raining at Wrigley, so that would have been a tricky situation about an hour into the game on the north side. We'll get into some of the series again later in the show, as the Cubs will play a single game Friday, then a split doubleheader Saturday, single game Sunday. All right, Sam, it ended up being a off day that we didn't expect. We're going to do best and worst, talk some roster moves the Cubs still made despite not playing, and get into the bullpen woes.
Yeah,
How are you doing over there?
I had my hood on to start the show in honor of the weather.
Well, fantastic.
It's never a good day when there's a scheduled ball game that doesn't get played, because we love doing this. We love watching this club play. But this is fine. Get them a day off after what was just a circus West Coast trip. And, I don't like double headers typically, especially against a team we're significantly better than. But like you mentioned to me over text, I don't expect them to win the first three. So if they could just knock out tomorrow now, Friday afternoon becomes the big game of the series, because
right.
if you can knock that out, you set up a split Saturday, and then you finish the job Sunday, 3 out of 4, and bring in Houston. So,
well, there's an off day Monday.
Oh yeah. And then there's another off day Monday, which is good.
So
it's good
a lot
for
of rest for these guys.
Good for everybody. Everybody could use rest, including some podcast hosts. So
yes,
I think it'll work out. My dad was upset. He thought he didn't understand how they played in 25-degree weather a couple weeks ago, but canceled tonight, Thursday. But he'll live. We'll all live. We'll wake up tomorrow, and you get through the morning day of your work. You have a little lunch. You get ready to win a baseball game.
Absolutely. A matinee affair, as they say. And some people have proposed that every day of the baseball season should have at least one afternoon game, and the Cubs definitely live up to that. I love Friday 1:20 games, Sam, and I would love if they did better in the relief corps moving forward. That's called a segue in the media biz. What could or should the Cubs do with the bullpen right now? It's been mediocre at best, with glimpses of impression here and there. ERA of 4.25, walks per 9, 5.17. Which is fourth worst in baseball. A lot to talk about here, because Jamison Tyone is returning to the rotation Friday.
Yep.
And the Cubs have made no indication that they're going to go with the 6-man starting rotation. Justin Steele comes back in mid-May, and you also have the conundrum that is Kyle Hendricks, who is projected to start Sunday, projected to start the following week.
It's not a conundrum. He's just pitching really poorly.
It's up in the air, though, what they're going to do with that dude. And so a few things here. And I'm going to put the bullpen up there. We're going to go over it.
Mm-hmm. This will be fun. Let me grade everybody.
But I actually want to – and I should have put down everybody that's pitched out of the pen.
Okay.
That's on me.
No, it's not on you.
We can figure it out off the top of our heads.
It's not on you, okay?
Ben Brown is on an innings limit, you have to think, right, for this year?
Every young pitcher is, yes.
What is that, 120, 130, something like that?
Something in that realm.
Okay. I think he starts Tuesday or Wednesday against the Astros, but then I think he goes to the pen.
Okay, maybe so.
Javier Assad likely goes to the pen when Steele returns.
Ugh.
Or until Steele returns, does Jordan Wicks go to the pen instead of Brown? And then Wicks goes back to the rotation and Brown to the bullpen.
Anyone have any
Steele comes back.
Anyone have any Advil?
I think that's more outside the box with Wicks.
Giving me a headache.
I think Brown's stuff plays better in the 1 or 2 inning increments than Wicks.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to throw it out there that maybe Wicks could be a piggyback guy.
Okay, so let me throw out some of my stuff.
And by piggyback, I mean the second guy.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Let me throw this out there before I leave the show with a migraine. I do not see a path to Jordan Wicks being in the pen.
Okay.
I think
I wanted to throw it out there because it is a talk program.
No, listen, nobody's saying you can't throw it out there. I'm throwing it. You're throwing it. I'm catching it, and I'm bringing it right back. Okay. I don't see him being.
Or putting it in the recycle bin.
I don't see him being a reliever right now. I want to see him grow as a starter. What I can see this team doing is with how poor Kyle Hendricks has pitched and the lack of innings that they're getting from these guys, maybe a 6-man.
You actually think they might do that?
Look,
I think they might do it next week, but that's it.
You could throw stuff out and I can't. Is this what this type of program is?
I just don't see any indication they're going to go to a 6-man.
Okay, well then if you
maybe next week, that's it.
Well, I'm talking about when Steele comes back.
Wow, that's bold.
But to answer your question, the next guy to go if Hendricks continues to start will be Assad, probably. He will probably go to the pen. Hendricks just isn't a reliever. You mentioned it. And I just think Wicks is too young of a talent. You gotta see what we got there. But yeah, to your point, and it's actually not a bad point because
you're saying Assad instead of Brown.
No, this is assuming Brown.
Oh, okay.
So I'm saying the second one when Steele comes back.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But, because to your point, Wicks only throws 4 1/3 every time. So you'd like to see him extend, but I don't know. It's hard to speculate on this stuff. I personally don't love, I hear you with the Ben Brown bullpen thing. His stuff is made for that. That's where the need is. But until
the innings limit.
Plus the innings limit. But I'd still like to give him a couple more starts. It's not like he's only thrown, what has he thrown so far?
17 innings.
17 innings. Maybe get him to like 40, 50. Then you can move him to the pen. I don't know.
All right, that sounds good to me.
It's nice that they have options. I mean, the elephant in the room is Hendricks, because if they do decide that he's done or they IL him, then everything resolves itself.
Right.
Brown could still start, and then you have the Steele situation. So I think they're okay. I really do think, though, now with Tyone back, coming off an injury, and with Imanaga, I do really think they like getting those guys extra rest. So I think the more the merrier with the starters. Mm-hmm. And these guys are not even starters. I almost want to call them a combination between starters and openers, because none of them are even getting through 6 outside of Imanaga. And then what's their deepest non-Imanaga outing? Is it 5 2/3 from Assad?
Yeah, I think so.
Nobody's. I mean, are we going to have a pitcher pitch in the 7th this year? Give us a call.
Give us a call.
3-1-2. So
okay.
I hear what you're saying, but as far as let's do the bullpen graphic.
All right, so someone's got to go to the pen eventually beyond next week. It might be Brown, but there's question marks right now.
Okay.
Colton Brewer just got called up on Wednesday. He's in the Cubs pen right now.
He'll be the long guy this weekend.
And then we have Drew Smiley down there.
Keegan
Thompson, Yency Almonte, Hector Neris, new setup man Adbert Alzolay, and new closer Mark Leiter Jr.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Why?
Because he's too much of a specialist.
Alzolay's a specialist too.
Yeah,
you know what he specializes in? Giving up homers. Okay,
I'm just being real with you. It'll be
especially to lefties.
Yeah, it'll be Alzolay, but I hear what you're saying.
Well, they should emphasize the pockets then.
No.
if Leiter should pitch the 9, I don't know.
No, you're right.
I can't believe I just said I don't know. I don't like doing that. It's one of my pet peeves.
No. In the 9th inning, if you have Jazz Chisholm and Josh Bell do up, you're saying let Leiter have that and give Alzolay the 8th inning right at pocket. I hear what you're saying.
Or let Alzolay pitch the next day.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So let me just really quick, just for some
Yeah,
fun,
please,
let me
please.
grade all these guys.
Okay.
First of them, those who aren't with us. Quas, F.
Yes. Please do those who aren't with us. Quas,
F,
Little,
D,
Valencia.
F.
Okay.
Okay. So now I'd like to go in Brewer, NA. Smiley's he's been in some really rough situations. I don't think he's been as bad as people think. I'll give him a C minus.
Okay.
Thompson, obviously limited work, A plus. El Monte, D, as in dog. Hector Neris, F. Adbert Alzolay, D minus. It's almost an F, but I won't give it to him. And Mark Leiter Jr., A plus.
Wow.
So that's
Fantastic.
that's my relief core. I know there's not a lot of C's, a lot of B's because there really hasn't been much average. They've either been awful or whatever. But just to recap, it's a C minus for Smiley, A plus for Thompson, D Almonte, F Neris, D minus Alzolay, and an A plus for MLJ.
And once again, a move outside, an external move is very unlikely until the summertime. This is going to have to be solved internally. Like we mentioned earlier in the week, Luke Little and Daniel Palencia, who received grades of, I believe it was D and F, respectively, from Sam.
D is in dog for
Okay.
Luke Little, and then F is in Frank for Palencia.
And so those dudes are gone. Those guys are in Des Moines. And the best relief pitcher prospects to put on your radar are Porter Hodge and Michael Arias. So just wanted to put those guys on your Google sheet.
I believe Porter. How do you say his last name? Hodge?
Porter Hodge.
Yeah, I believe his ERA right now stands at 9 in Des Moines.
And Michael Arias is in Double-A, and I'm just telling you, those are the relief prospects if you're keeping score.
Can I just say something completely not about this ball club? Right now, you have tremendous color. I mean,
I'm eating and drinking differently.
You're beaming off the screen, whereas I'll get to this in my worst of the week.
I tried out different lighting tonight.
I look like I haven't been outside since 1950.
Since the Obama administration.
No. Since the baby boomer era.
Wow. Coming up next, Hayden Wisniewski, who gets an A+.
So
got
far.
him.
Yeah.
Got sent down for Jamison Tyone, and Miles Mastrobuoni got sent down for Patrick Wisdom. Let's break those down right after this. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The sports calendar is loaded, and FanDuel is making it even more exciting to get in on the action. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 you can use to bet the tourney, MLB, NBA, NHL, and so much more. And I have some breaking news for you.
Really?
The Cubs are now favorites, according to FanDuel, for the NL Central crown.
Woo!
At plus 210.
Let's go.
That was updated on Thursday.
Wow.
For Friday's game against the Fish, the Cubs are also favorites at minus 150. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn and make your first bet a big win. FanDuel, official partner of the Locked On Podcast Network. Cubs play the Marlins at 1:20 p.m. Central Friday, and you can hear every pitch of the Cubs' hometown broadcast on SiriusXM by searching Cubs on the SXM app. Jamison Tyone will oppose A.J. Puck still on Friday. Both of those guys got bumped to the following day following the rain out. Split doubleheader Saturday with start times of 1:20 and 6:40, and then the 1:20 Sunday remains. We'll see how it shakes out, but all four pitchers that were supposed to pitch Friday, Saturday are projected to go Saturday. That was Imanaga, Luzardo, Assad, and Cabrera. Hendricks v. Weathers on Sunday. Couple roster moves from the Cubs, Sam. Any thoughts on Wisniewski for Tyone and Mastro for Wisdom?
No, I think that those all made sense. I think you're going to see. Get ready, because I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see what you didn't want to see, and that's a lot of Garrett Cooper and a lot of Pat Wisdom in the same lineup. What I'm interested,
really,
because versus the lefties, What
Dang.
I'm interested in, though, is who, because so there's Canario, Wisdom, and Cooper.
Mhm.
You assume Bush is still going to play versus lefties, right?
At least 2 of the 3 games.
So I
Maybe he sits the Luzardo game.
yeah, so I think he'll sit a game,
Mhm.
and then Morel's playing third. So
Right.
then that leaves a spot open for Cooper to DH or Wisdom. But I guess, yeah. And then it's actually going to be kind of interesting. Maybe they don't fit both those guys now that I think of it out
Yeah,
loud.
that would be a tight fit, but maybe.
Well, no, because no. Because with no Suzuki, then there's an outfielder for Talkman.
That's right. Canario and right.
So Canario will play right.
Mhm.
Cooper will probably DH, and then Bush at first. But there will be, I think, some Wisdom, stuff as well. They'll mix
Yeah,
it in.
Wisdom at first or Wisdom at third or Wisdom DH.
Yep, exactly.
We'll see. We'll see with that. Okay, well, that would be really intriguing. Maybe Council rolls with that right away on Friday
Yeah, we'll
and
see. I
goes
mean,
kind of the aggressive route there.
Puck's probably a guy you could leave Bush in for because
Okay.
he's so wild. And he just doesn't pitch into deep into games. So you're most likely going to be bringing Bush off the bench anyway. Why not give him an at bat or two? I agree
Yeah.
with you. Probably Luzardo would be the game maybe to give Bush a breather.
Plus, there's 2 games that day.
And then Wisdom, Luzardo has that hard slider that dives low and into righties. That should be in the power zone for a Wisdom or a Cooper.
All right, I
Um,
like it.
But I'm excited. I know, Patrick Wisdom's not a guy I love per se because that's not my type of hitter, but this is fun to get him to watch. A few lefties, should be decent weather. Maybe he'll be able to put one on the Waveland. And
Yeah, I think we should make a show prediction that he is going to hit a homer this weekend.
okay. I missed. I'm gonna let you do it because I missed my last prediction by one stinking game.
Okay.
I was close. My thought process was there, folks. I knew it was coming. It just came a day late, and I don't get points for that, man. Day late, dollar short again.
All right. Well, one of the 4 games, I'm calling a Wisdom homer. Not exactly out on a limb. I got a 4-game surface area.
And my prediction will be the Cubs will win the Kyle Hendricks start on Sunday
Okay. Wow.
if he pitches. Yeah,
And is that a bold prediction? Your third one, or?
I think it is because he's not very good.
Yeah, I think so too. So, the Cubs will have, and the Marlins, a 27th man on Saturday for the DH. Could be Wisniewski. Let's see, pitch Wednesday, so that would be only 2 days rest. Possibly. I'm just saying it could be Wisniewski because the rules of a player having to spend 2 weeks in the minors following a demotion is null and void for the 27th man. So he could have stuck around just through Saturday and then go back down. Otherwise, I'm not really sure the candidates to come up again. Little and Palencia have to, because of actually with the DH rules, it really could be anybody. So never mind.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too much for me.
It's really just one day and then they go back. Maybe it's Quas. So, all right.
the Smokies are down 15-2.
Ooh, I didn't expect that out of them.
Matt Shaw with his first 0 for the year. Kevin Alcantara 4 for 4.
Jeez, that's a stacked team. But even they lose some games, huh? Okay.
That's just how it works. I'll check on the AAA while you're reading a break.
We're going to finish with best and worst. Stay tuned. Today's episode is also brought to you by Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. It's the easiest and most exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. Pick more or less on 2 or more player stats and then watch the winnings roll in. Baseball season is underway, so don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks entries. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs, take your pick of more or less and add them to your Prize Picks entry. Prize Picks is really simple to play, with your entries taking less than 60 seconds to submit, turning $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps of your screen. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's a first deposit match up to $100 by using code LOCKEDONMLB. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. We close a Friday episode with best and worst of the week. Want to turn your attention right now before we get into that. This Saturday, exclusively on YouTube.
Yeah.
1:15 start time, 1:20 First Pitch for the very first Saturdays with Sam live exclusively on YouTube. Watch the first few innings of Saturday's game and many 120 Saturday games this year with our own Sam Olber right here on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. I'm not going to do like any play by play. I'm just going to kind of react to the game. Will be a great time for me to take some questions, comments while we watch together, have a good time. You'll get to see kind of how I am during a baseball game. What I do is I'll be watching the game on my phone. I'll be looking
a second screen experience, if you will.
It'll be a second screen experience, exactly. And I'm not gonna waste your time for 9 innings, but if you want to join me for 3 to 5 innings of a nice, fun 120 game, please do. And if you're tired of hearing my voice, I don't blame you. Enjoy lunch with your friends and family and watch Shota Imanaga shove against the Marlins.
Wow, very good. So we're looking forward to that, and I just want to say my best of the week is just doing some reflection this week, Sam. And I just want to give a shout out to all our great listeners, especially the everydayers. Shout out to the audio peeps right now, by the way. Apple, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcast. Podcasting in its intended form, an audio medium. Right now, we're doing great numbers over there. Thousands of people every day. If you're one of those listening to this right now, truly appreciate you sticking with us and being part of the season with us and tracking the Cubs. And we try to tell it like it is, try to have a good time as we do it. And just wanted to say that.
Yeah, my worst of the week.
Beer bets.
My worst of the week is kind of off what I said about you earlier. You're kind of glowing. You have great color.
Yeah, eating and drinking differently mainly because of my health scare back, if you remember, late February, early March.
Well, I remember it. Yeah. So if you just look closely here between the wall and my skin tone, there's really no difference. And I'm starting to get a little fed up. It was nice this past week, and I was outside quite a bit. I jogged outside. I did some coaching outside.
Go Cubs.
And I've come back lighter and whiter than ever. And, when you have a show that does the numbers we do, it's just kind of irritating to look like this. And,
okay.
I may have to go on some sort of vacation and come back.
And I may keep up the bit of wearing the same hoodie for a whole week. I've done that now since opening day. I've traded a couple different hoodies. I've worn them 5 straight shows during the weeks, and no one said anything.
I'm wearing a Kobe hoodie.
Shout out to Kobe.
I wore this to your bachelor party.
That's right.
My best of the week is probably it's one of those fun times. Like this weekend, we got the playoffs starting in the NBA.
Oh, wow.
That's when I start to turn that on, because that's that's real basketball, not any of the flopping garbage that we see on a daily basis. Combine that with our beloved, and it's a fun time. So, and also my best of the week is the Cubs not being on the West Coast for a while.
That's a good point. We'll be back on Monday recapping the Marlins series. Hopefully we have some fish fry to talk about on Monday.
Oh, come on.
Thank you so much for checking out this edition of Locked On Cubs.
I'm joking. It was funny. People get angry when I do that.
And we'll
get
give
offended.
you all things Cubs with a laugh or two along the way.
It was a great joke.
We have
people get upset when they think I'm making fun of you. We're friends off the air, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we actually like each other.
Yeah, no, we don't have anything forced on this show.
No. I'm going to keep drinking my slushie.
Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube, smash the like button for the algorithm, and leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcast. Thank you, everyone, for making us the #1 Cubs podcast, #1 destination for all things Cubs. Let's see what the Cubs could do this weekend against the Marlins. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
There is momentum happening here.